guys, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Toad's Shooting Show. We're going to talk just a little bit today about using a rest like this, and sometimes we set up our targets in a way that doesn't work to the best of our advantage. And sometimes we may even make a determination based on accuracy when the problem is in the rest and the way that we are setting our array of targets up. So I've got a piece of paper over here. I just want to show you what I've found out over the course of a little while here. So there are two different ways that I set my targets up. Sometimes I set them up in a horizontal fashion like this. And sometimes I zero the gun here and I'll shoot vertically this way. Okay. Now, I'm just going to give you an example here of three different scenarios. Okay, so this is my zero target here, and I got my bags. The ears of the bag are perfectly behind it, and we are dead nuts. Okay. So there's where the gun is sighted in for. So now just for a moment here, this rest has a windage adjustment that we can slide left or right by adjusting this knob right here. Now keep in mind, we're only moving, I don't really have my aim points that far apart. We're talking maybe 2.5 inches. Okay, so in some cases what I will do is I will just maybe give this 2 turns on the knob here and the crosshairs right there. Okay, so let's take this scenario again of, you know, the same thing, but of course the bags haven't moved, right? This is a slightly exaggerated view, but I think you're going to get to seeing what I'm trying to show you here. So I'm aiming here now. And now the impact points are over here. And let's take it a step further, just for the sake of trying to show you what we're talking about here. Okay, so we're aiming there still, and this is where your impact points are going to be. And the reason why it is taking place like this is because if you don't take the time, even though you're only moving at a very minute amount, to settle in this rear bag and get that gun tracking correctly again, this is what is actually taking place within the rest. You are going to be plus tension on the right front and plus tension on the left rear. This is going to be negative and that's going to be negative. Back here, you're going to be positive on the left, positive on the front, negative, negative. And, you know, we can just do this again just in a picture to show you what that looks like. Once again, plus, plus. So, you got it zeroed, you fire the gun, now all of a sudden it's banging off the front and the rear here, and as the gun's recoiling back, it's actually kicking your bullets this direction. I got several targets that I've noticed this on, that they go this way. So same scenario. Now I have an elevation knob here that we can adjust up or down. There's one for a gross measurement, and then there's one for a, you know, more fine, and then you can actually use these as well. But in this case here, I like to have them hitting just a little bit outside of the bullseye, so just say this is where we start. As I move that screw up to adjust up for the next hit. Now keep in mind they're only this far apart for the most part, maybe 5-6 inches. The first impact points are down in here. And then the next ones, without even adjusting any scope adjustment, they're all in the bullseye or thereabouts. So as you adjust your elevation up, the impact points come down. That is because of the way that the gun is riding in the front and the rear bags, the way it's reacting off of these two. So you got to spend a little bit of time to do that. And I do have one target here that kind of shows it. You'll notice that this is, we got it upside down here. Okay. This is the 0 target. And I settled on these 2 rounds right here to begin firing. And then, so all I did was I adjusted up. And you can notice that the impact points are already beginning to go down. And then for the last group, this is a 10-shot group. It's like 0.7 of an inch, which is fair for this rifle. But you'll notice that it's taken out the center of the bullseye, and I have done nothing as far as adjusting the elevation on the scope at all. This is just basically the way the gun is recoiling back as the shot goes off. Just that little bit will have a pretty drastic effect. Now I did a neat video earlier on about canting the gun, okay? That would have an adverse effect. And that might be something that would interest you. Take a look. Gun level using the bubble right in the middle. This was with canting the scope and the gun to the left. You can see that that's at least 2.5–3 inches to the left. And I tipped the gun to the right hand side, and you can see they're almost equidistant one way, each way. So this is to give you an idea how far your impact points change, and you can only imagine this would double at 600. You wouldn't even be on the paper. So back to this guy for just a moment. 0.7 of an inch, when I know that this gun will do much better than that. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Is it my rest? Am I not reading the wind correctly? I was kind of expecting something in the area of maybe 1/2 of an inch. And, I fired another group, and they're stringing up and down. They're stringing left and right. This was an interesting one. This was my final one to where it was like, these are vertically stringing up and down. So obviously, I have to be doing something with the rest or the load, right? Well, not so. Check this out. I discovered something that probably a lot of us overlook, and you might be surprised about this.